Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to create a folder cleaner using Python. This is a beginner level video, so follow along. So what are the expectations of this project? First, it's going to be a console application. We are not planning on adding any UI component to this project, and we are not planning on pausing command line arguments for a console application. Instead, we are going to have a config file which contains every information it needs to perform the action. So the deletion operation is done based on the file age. We are going to read the config file, and we read the list of directory path, and we are going to go into that directory and get the files out of it. Once we get the file list, we are going to check whether that particular file is of the age less than the specified allowed interval. So if it is so, we are not going to delete it, otherwise we will delete it. So the file age determines whether the file gets deleted or not. That's how we are going to design it, and it should support different time units. Specifically, like we could specify 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, these units, right? So we are going to support it, and the whole application is suitable for CI pipeline like Jenkins. Consider you're running a job and it left behind a collection of artifacts in various folder paths, and you want it to clean it up. So we could use this script to do such things for cleanup purpose. So let's get started with the coding part. I'm using Python Community Edition. You could use any Python IDE if you prefer. Let me remove the commands so that it looks clean. So I am going to call a method called cleanup. I haven't added this method yet. So let's create a new file, Python, and I am going to add that cleanup method here. So I am going to print a statement for now. The reason we are going to add flush equal to true is that we want this cleanup starter to be displayed in some Jenkins pipeline when this is executed. Otherwise, all the print statement comes out of order in Jenkins. So if you add this, it will just get displayed in the right order as it is printed. Okay, let's execute this. Oh no, we need to add this. I should get an error. Yes, the cleanup is not defined. So let me import this. Or I can just import the method itself from folder cleaner, import cleanup. Let me save this and run. Cleanup started. Okay, so the method runs. Let me go ahead and add a config file for this project. So I am going to have a list of folder paths, and I am going to specify the time period that that can be allowed for the files to exist in those folders. Otherwise, we are going to delete it. So I'm going to define the JSON config. Folder paths and array of folders. And each element should have a path, which it can be dictionary, and it can have a folder path key. Yeah, opt test. So it's going to have a time period key, which is an integer, and it's going to take in the time unit. We could specify it as days, months, or year. So we have one entry here. We are going to repeat the same for others. And let me change this appropriately. So we have our config ready. It's containing a set of folder paths, and we specify the allowable time period for each of the folders in the units of our preference. First we are going to read the config file, so let's do that. Let me create a variable config equal to none. Let me open the file with open cleaner.json as JSON file. Config equal to, we are going to use the package JSON dot loads, or load is enough. Let me import this. Let me verify if this config is read correctly into this dictionary object. So we have open a file here. We are trying to use JSON package and load the JSON information into this config, which would be a dictionary object. We are then printing out this config here. So let's see the output. Yeah, we are getting the dictionary here, just the way we have written the JSON. It's displayed as a dictionary, and it has a overall single key, and the value is array of dictionaries, and each value will have 3 keys: folder path, time period, and time unit. And we are going to specify the path and time in integer, and day unit in a string, which is day, week, month, or year, based on which we would process deletion in the code. With the config read, we have a set of path in our hands. So what we are going to do is iterate through each of the folder path and make a decision on whether to delete or not. So let's do that. Let me simply add config read or something. So let me process each of the folders. For folder path in config folder paths. This is the logic I am going to follow. If the folder configured in the JSON doesn't exist, I'm going to continue the loop. So I'm not going to process further. I am just going to continue to the next iteration. Let me write that in coding. If not, the package I'm going to use is os.path.exist. Folder path. This is a dictionary in itself. Folder path. So if this path doesn't exist, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to continue the loop. Else, I'm going to process the folder and going to decide whether to delete the file or not. So for that, I'm going to use a for loop here. It can be a file or folder. So I'm naming it as file folder in and I'm going to use os package, and I'm going to use the method listdir, which will list the contents of a directory, whether it's a subfolder or a file. Folder path, and the key is caps folder path. So this for loop will have the logic as to decide whether to delete or not based on the time period difference. Let me get what is the current time. Now equal to, I'm going to use the package time. Let me import it. So I have the current time in this now variable. I need to define a dictionary time units that has the value for each of the units, like day it's 1, week it's 7, month it's 30, and year it's 365. This file folder won't be a complete path, it will be just the file name or folder name, subfolder name. So I'm going to get the full path for this. os.path.join. What I'm going to join? I'm going to join this one. Folder path as well as file folder. We got the full path of the subfolder or the file inside the folder. Next thing I want is to get the created time of this. For this I am going to use os.path.get created time, that is get c time, and I am going to pass full path. Now I got the created time, based on which I could make a decision whether to delete or not. So we are going to use the current time as well as the created time and get the difference out of it, and then determine whether the difference is in the allowable time unit range. If it is so, leave it be, otherwise delete it. So that's the logic. The end result is a timestamp, which is typically long or float. That's the created time, and then we are going to find allowed time, how long I am going to allow it. So it's the difference between now and the time period specified in the config file, and its folder path time period into the time unit, which we have specified here, and we are having the key of the dictionary in this JSON file. So we could write like this, and get the folder, use the folder path, which is a dictionary in itself, and take the time unit of it. Now you could actually access one of the values from this dictionary. What we are doing is we are extracting data out of a dictionary by using the folder path dictionary and getting the time unit out of it, which would give us a day, month or week or so, and this will be an equivalent to time units of day or month or week or year. That way at the end result you're getting an integer here and another integer here, and we need to multiply this by 86,400, which is nothing but the number of seconds in a day. Since everything is a timestamp, we need to specify everything as seconds, so we are doing just that. So we have separated the current time minus the time interval specified in the config. That gives us the allowed time. Let me print this out for you to understand. We might get an error out of this, so let's add a string here. So we have folder 1 in this path, and we have a text file here which is created just now, and let's run this to understand what we get out of this. Okay, I have specified it wrongly. Let me remove this. Okay. So you see we are getting timestamps in a floating type, and this is the created time and this is the allowable time. We are basically going to do a comparison of two floating numbers and decide whether we are going to delete the file or not. So let me go ahead and add the logic here. If created time is less than the allowed time, what this means is we have a file that is older than the allowable time, and we are going to add a try. Since we might get some exceptions, this is the best practice to do so. If the full path we are referring to is a file, we are going to delete the file. So if os.path.isdir of full path, we are going to delete this. os.remove full path. We deleted the file. Else we are going to delete this subfolder. For that I am going to use the package shutils, which has a remove tree method. We are going to specify full path, and we are going to set ignore errors is equal to false. Here we are going to write suitable error message. To summarize, we have taken created time of the file or folder from this getCtime method, and we calculated the allowable time, that is the current time, minus the time period specified in the config in terms of seconds. In the end result, we would be getting two floating numbers. One represents created time and another represents allowable time. If the created time is less than the allowed time, which means we have a file or folder that is older than the allowable time period, we are going to delete it. And if the entry is a file, we are going to use this method os.remove to remove the file. And if the entry is a subfolder, we are going to use shutils remove tree to remove the folder. If some exception occurs, we are going to print it out. Let me add a few other things just to let us know what's going on. So I have added enough print statements to let the program let us know what's going on. Let me run this. Processing the first folder which exists. And since this doesn't satisfy the condition for deletion, it's not deleting it. And let us specify that in else statement as well. Okay, let's run this again. Yeah, we have only one file which is not deleted. Let me generate some sample files and come back. We have 4 folders in hand, each for each of the time units: day, year, month and week. So in the first folder, that is folder 1 day, we have 2 files and 2 folders. One with the different creation dates. We are going to set it as 6 dates to delete. So today is March 9th, and if we set it as 6 days, March 1 array will be deleted. That is the file day deleted and folder day deleted. These 2 file folders will get deleted. The same goes for folder 2, which is having these 4 things. And we are specifying the creation date as 2015, and we are going to give the condition as 1 year. And in this case, the same goes. The file and folder that are marked with deleted will get deleted, and other things won't get deleted. The same thing goes for weeks, months. So we have the same files and folders. One is December 18 and another one is February 18. We are going to specify as 2 months period. December 18 should get deleted, and folder weeks, we have files and folders, and we have specified 3 weeks time period older than which we will delete it. In this case, January 18 files and folders should get deleted. So we have this setup ready. Let's run this. I have made a small correction here. I am getting modified time. Unix doesn't have a created time stored for each of the files. My bad. As previously explained, I was thinking this is a creation time, but it's modified time, and the code is not working, not deleting anything, because get C time basically gives now time, sort of like that. I'm going to run this code now. Now I can see certain files and folders are deleted, and certain files and folders are getting skipped. This has happened for folder year and folder date, and for folder month I think it's the wrong path, so let me correct this. So I have corrected everything now, and it should delete everything. Yes, you could see that whatever I named it deleted gets deleted, and whatever's named not deleted, it's not deleted. So we have tested time units in terms of days, months, years, and weeks, and we have verified the particular files are getting deleted or not. So if I go through each of the folders, I could see that whatever that I have marked as deleted had actually been deleted, and other things are not getting deleted. This decision of deletion is made possible through modification time, lost modification time. So we have achieved whatever we set out to achieve. We have designed a console application with config abilities, and the deletion of each of the files happen based on the modification time, which is measurement of file age. We supported various time units like days, weeks, months, and year, and this is suitable for CI pipeline in Jenkins, where we could clear up files that are getting generated based on age. So as a summary, we have achieved a simple folder cleaner. We have got the config from a config file and loaded it into a dictionary, and we have been iterating through each of the folders, and we are listing each of the files, and we are determining the age of that particular file using last modified time, which is getyum time. And finally we are making a calculation of allowed time period for that file or subfolder. Based on that, if it's old enough, we are going to either delete the file or the folder, and there you have it. We have a folder cleaner ready. So that's it for this video, guys. I will come back with another video. Like and share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel for future updates. Thank you.